Hey guys, and welcome back to Carsey's Classroom. Today we will be reviewing Chapter 14, Geometry. So come on, let's go. Now, before we learn about our geometry and review it, I am going to juggle. So here we go. There are some key things you need to remember for your test. The first one is a line segment, and a ray. Remember, our line has 2 arrows. Our line segment has no arrows, and our ray only has 1 arrow. The next thing we need to talk about is parallel, perpendicular, and intersecting. Remember, parallel, they will never ever touch. No matter how far they go, they will never touch. Perpendicular, when they hit, they make a 90-degree angle. And intersecting is anytime they hit, but they don't make a 90-degree angle. The next thing we're going to talk about is the lines of symmetry. Now, the lines of symmetry is the way we can cut a shape and it will be equal on both sides. For example, if we were to cut my heart in half, I would have equal heart on this side and this side. However, if I cut it in half this way, it would not work. Finally, we have our types of triangles. We have our acute triangle that has 3 acute angles, our obtuse triangle that will have 1 obtuse and 2 acute, and our right triangle that will have 1 right angle. Now let's do some review problems. Okay, our first problem is asking us about line segments, and rays. So this first one has 2 arrows. We know if it has 2 arrows, it is a line because it goes both directions forever and ever. So this is going to be line A, B. That is how we would name it. It would be line AB. All right, this next one has 1 endpoint and 1 arrow. So that means that it is a ray. So this one is going to be ray QR. And that is its name, ray QR. Now, what would it look like if it was a line segment? Well, it would have 1 dot, a line, and 1 dot. So we've got a line segment with no arrows, a line with 2 arrows, and a ray with 1 arrow. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about is parallel, perpendicular, and intersecting. So, this problem right here, we can see that it has lines that cross, so it is not parallel, and it creates a right angle. So if they cross and it creates a right angle, they are perpendicular. Now here I have 2 lines that do not touch and will never touch. That means they are parallel. Now to get intersecting, we would have to have 2 lines that cross but do not create a 90-degree angle. They don't have our magic box. So this would be intersecting. What is the measure of the angle in degrees? So we have this angle here, and we've got to figure out what it is. So we know 180 is going to be a straight line. This would be a 180. So it's not that one. 60 degrees is going to be a little less than 90. So if this is 90 degrees, 60 degrees is going to be something like something like this. And we know that 90 degrees is going to be this kind of exact wall shape, is what I like to call it. Find the unknown if the combined angle measure is 45. So this whole angle right here is 45 degrees. It tells us that this one is 20 degrees, and we need to figure out what S is. So 20 plus S will give us 45 degrees. So we know, what do we have to add to 20 to get it to be 45? Well, S would have to equal 25 degrees. 20 plus 25 would equal 45 degrees. Which figure only has one line of symmetry? Well, let's start by writing in the lines of symmetry. So this one, it could be cut in half that way, and we'd have equal. That way 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 and that way. So that definitely has a lot more than just one line of symmetry. Now a rectangle, we know we can cut it in half this way, but we could also cut it in half that way. So that one won't work. This one we can cut in half this way. We could also cut it in half this way, and we could cut it in half this way. So that leaves our only option, which is our heart. We know we can cut it in half this way, but we cannot cut it in half any other ways. So G would be our answer. Finally, we have our triangles. So this one has one obtuse angle and two acute angles. So it is an obtuse triangle. Now for it to be a right triangle, we would have to have our little box. And for it to be an acute triangle, every single angle would have to be acute. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe below and give me a big thumbs up. Okay, bye.